Hey, Scorpio. Oh, we got Death and the Magician popping out right away. How are you doing? I'll try and speak clearly because the heater's on and there's no way I'm turning it off right now. It's been in the 30s all morning and it's just that type of, even in direct sunlight, it's that biting cold that's just, ooh. Got two of the dogs are smushed together blocking the heater anyway. Battling for the most heat. Ridiculous. All right, let's see what's going on with Scorpio in January 2025. What's going on with their divine alignment, divine path, divine union. Could be dealing with the Pisces. There's something about waiting or getting a new perspective on something before taking a leap of faith or before charging in. And we have the Six of Cups, which is soulmate energy, past lives. I just did the Libra reading, which is uploading now. So you could have a Libra placement. You could be dealing with a Libra. But that was a cool reading. And it was the, what is it called? Inyun. The Korean word for like past life soulmate. So I was getting that. Excuse me. Drinking orange juice out of the bottle because I can do that. Ooh, 10 of Cups. It's looking good in love for y'all, Scorpio. There's the Hangman again. In the other deck. All right, and then we have the Six of Swords. So yeah, somebody's with that kind of hangman waiting thing. Somebody is really in their masculine energy. There's a masculine that's, and it's not the Page of Swords. Like a Page of Swords is just watching out of curiosity. They can be collecting information, but they're not necessarily, they don't have any plans in action or any perspective goal in mind. They're just, the Page of Swords is the start. This person feels like they're looking and they're just waiting for divine timing. They're waiting for the right time to come in. And but the Hanged Man, the feminine aspect of the Hangman is the High Priestess, which is Pisces, the moon. It all relies on the intuition. This person sees because they are up here in their higher chakras, right? They've done a lot of shadow work. So they've cleared a lot of the lower past information, past lives, past shadows and attachments and all the ego stuff in the lower three. They're listening to their heart. This is someone who does what feels right to them. And you don't know what feels right for you unless you've done that work on your heart chakra. And that when you do that work in your heart chakra, then you can elevate and come up into the higher three chakras, right? Which it's like, see the 6 and the 6? It's like 3 of Swords in the past. So letting go of all hurt, all trauma. 3 of Swords also in the heart space is something that will keep you stuck. It will keep you out of making decisions that trust your intuition. So this person is right in the middle here. They've balanced, this kind of looks like the world, even though it's a hot air balloon, but it looks sort of like the world. If you look at it from far away and really fast, it's like they are seeing things from a perspective like never before for themselves and like no one else around them. They just see things differently. And they sit right in the middle of the 3 higher, the 3 lower, and it's like they've sat with each one of them. And swords can be a blockage, right? If they're like 3 swords in your heart chakra, it's definitely going to be a blockage of your feelings, of your intuition, right? Of your masculine and your feminine. There's going to be a lot of I keep wanting to say curiosity. Somebody's very curious here, but they're not just curious for the sake of like watching a car crash. They're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna help whatever's going on. Like I'm coming in And I have the skills. Let me grab my medical bag, right? It's like an EMT driving by a car crash versus just like a Karen or something. I don't really use that term, but it's just funny. Maybe you do. But the lack of clarity and confusion, right? If there's any confusion or lack of clarity, if you're not looking at the shadows or things that are in each of your chakras, then you're never going to be aligned, right? So this is where we sit. We sit right in the middle. We sit right in the balanced place. That's where we are divine. When we follow our heart is the sun and the moon, which is Leo and Cancer. Could be signs that you're dealing with. But it's the divine masculine, divine feminine. And this person's either like tuned into everything is connected to this world that they've dreamed of. This world, this reality. And look how it's got all this breath in it, right? And it's even got like a little skull with wings, right? Which is like a death angel. Which you are death, Scorpio, in tarot. So it's like death and rebirth. Like you're very tuned into your truth, your cycle, everything behind you. You're leaving everything that is scorched, burned, that was not. Also, this is like finding the right balance of air, breath work. Like I feel like you've been doing a lot of breath work, meditation. You've been maybe journaling. You've been balancing your thoughts and your words, which is communication with self, right? You've like had talks with each one of your chakras, each one of your placements. Maybe you've looked at your whole chart and maybe you've gotten really into your purpose and your life path. Numerology. I feel like you could have been just researching yourself and doing this work here. And realizing see, this is like all of their gas, their air, their breath, whatever. It's like their head and their heart are so aligned that they can keep their world not contained in a box, but they can keep it protected. It's like a shield, where maybe you were reckless, you had behaviors, lower attachments that were maybe destroyed some stuff, right? If not, you gave your breath, you gave your air and energy, you communicated, you gave all of this swords energy. Maybe you got, it drove you crazy. To get to this place, you had to go through some shit with the swords. You had to go through a lot of blockages, and you had to break through those blockages and heal those wounds that were caused by these swords, right? And then as you go through that, you realize the role that you played in it, the fact that you were actually self-cutting in that area. So this damage here, it's like you realize your role in it, but you don't want to play a role in this anymore. You don't want to give any of that energy. You're taking all your energy and you're coming over here and you're starting anew, right? You're starting anew and you're going to grow new things. You're going to plant new seeds. And this earth over here looks like it's scorched as well. So whomever this person is coming to, whether this is a masculine or feminine, which masculine pursues. So I'm with the hangman here. I'm assuming that this is the masculine coming in to rebuild with the feminine. The feminine has already gone through that too, right? Because this earth hasn't been scorched yet. It's currently being scorched. It's still sort of this could be leaving a relationship and going into something new. This could be leaving a workplace. This is new. This is taking yourself, rescuing yourself, and going into something completely new. And I feel like this land over here, it looks like it would be barren, but it's already been scorched, and scorched earth is very fertile, right? So it's actually, there's a fertility there. And if you look over here, in the background of this Ten of Cups, there's this boat here on the sea, but it kind of looks like it's on the land. And then we've got this little castle or empire back here that you two are building. So this, to me, is like the scorched earth that you're coming over to. You're parking your boat here, or the masculine is parking their boat there, their ship. Your ship's coming in. So if you're the feminine, just know that your person is working their way toward you. But it's like smooth sailing. They're coming on the current, so they could be a mutable sign, or they could be air or water, right? Because those are signs that are influenced by the current. But it's like smooth sailing. You see, the moon is full here, so there's no lack of clarity, there's no confusion. It's not, is it waxing, is it waning, am I coming, am I going, what's the deal? Like, I feel like all of this back here was a lot of tumultuous, indecisive energy, and this is a very decisive, Six of Swords is a decisive energy. It's like, I'm taking all of this heartbreak, all of this Three of Swords, all of this confusion, this mental clutter, this emotional clutter, all of this fighting, right? It comes after the Five of Swords, which is like arguments. I feel like it was a constant battle, and there was never a winner. It was just always left sort of in this awful state. You could be dealing with an earth sign. We have the Queen of Pentacles here. Page of Swords with the Hangman. So yeah, they're watching, but they're not just watching. Like, they're getting the information that they need, and they know to trust in divine timing. A lot of times, like, a Page of Swords is just, if a Page of Swords isn't coupled with anything that's like a major arcana or a stronger placement, it's like, it's just like a curious kid peeking over the fence. They don't know why. They just want to see what's on the other side. But the Hanged Man is somebody who does things alone, right? So, yeah, maybe there was a relationship. Maybe you or your person, I feel like the masculine, was getting out of a relationship. Maybe they saw the feminine when they were in a relationship. And we have the Ten of Cups here with the Queen of Pentacles. They could have been married. The masculine could be married, could have kids. I feel like this is what you and your person are going to be building together. So it could be a blended family. You could both have children. But that's not for everybody. And then we have the Hierophant. So the Queen of Pentacles and the Hierophant. The Hierophant is marriage, traditions. It's the High Priest. It's somebody who is a spiritual leader, a spiritual teacher. With the Queen of Pentacles and the Hierophant, could be a Taurus, because the Hierophant is Taurus and Queen of Pentacles is an earth sign. And we have the Empress. So could be a Libra. Again, we were talking about Libra, so that could be your placement. Or you could be dealing with a Libra. And then Empress is also Taurus, of course. So either way, you've got the Empress. So that's somebody who's very nurturing, again, fertile. And that's not necessarily fertile with, for child rearing, like making biological children. The Empress is creative. This is somebody that you can co-create with, because they are completely in their divine feminine energy of creative, like they are the vessel for creative ideas. So if you, as a masculine, have creative ideas or thoughts, and you maybe tried to create with somebody before, and it was just constant, it was a constant battle. You weren't compatible. You weren't, that person didn't see the potential, or they weren't inspired by your ideas. Maybe you were like, oh, I want to do this, and they were always shutting you down, putting you down, down. And see, like, now it's, the masculine is like, up. I'm up. I'm going up and over. No traffic. I'm just following the current. I'm just following my heart. I'm following the unseen. It's like the Empress is over here, like, calling them in, I get like the Little Mermaid, Eric's just kind of like, not to say that the masculine is a doofus or anything, like Eric kind of is a doofus. But you know how he's just sort of like, it's almost like a siren song, right? So And Scorpio is, if the masculine is Scorpio, or this just might just resonate with you as the feminine Scorpio, but Scorpio was a large underwater crustacean. The scorpion was a large underwater crustacean, and then it evolved or devolved or had to acclimate, right, and adjust itself to come onto land. That's why it's a fixed sign. It's not a cardinal sign. It's not the fieriest sign. It's earth and water. It is a very feminine sign. It's earth and water are feminine elements. So people are always like, oh, they're so spicy because they have the stinger and they're in the desert, and so they must be like the fieriest of the water sign. But they're actually quite fixed. They're just sure of what works for them and doesn't work for them. And when you meet people who don't know what's good for them or what works for them, and you tell them your boundaries, you tell them no. And sometimes you might just say things like no. You don't explain yourself. Maybe you had to explain yourself a lot and you just gotten to a place where now you're like, no is a complete sentence. But people will be very offended and defensive around that because they're like, this person's sure of themselves, and I'm not. So it makes them insecure. It threatens their identity. It threatens their belief systems because they don't really know what they believe. So you could have dealt with that in a romantic partnership. You could just deal with that generally. But it's like this siren is calling you back to the sea. It's like, come back home. You don't have to adjust for me. You don't have to change yourself. I love you just as you are. We were meant to meet in the sea, right? So it could be a fellow water sign, right? Or it could be somebody with a water placement that is just, it's like the moon, right? They're calling you home. So, that's you as well with the moon and water. So it could just be somebody who speaks your language. Like there's no confusion. There's no like constant struggle and back and forth. It's like you guys are you want the same things. You are of the same star. And so you recognize each other. And I just feel like the feminine, like the Empress, like the divine feminine does, like the moon does in the heart chakra, it mirrors and reflects and refracts the light, I don't know why I keep saying the like that, but it bounces back. It's like such a mirror for the sun, which is the masculine. And so in that way, they're always communicating, right? And we, as little ego-based terrestrial beings on the earth, betwixt the sun and the moon, unless there's an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, right? Yeah. Right? Or a solar, lunar, where we are out of the way, where the ego is out of the way. I don't know why I'm confusing those two, because one, we are in the way, which is the new moon or the full moon. And I don't know why I'm struggling with that. Whatever, I am, and maybe you struggle with that. But, sometimes you know something so surely, and then you say it, you try to say it, and the word just doesn't sound right. Or you're like, maybe I have it completely backwards all these years of my life. But that's just, sometimes things are meant to be viewed, and that's the hangman here. Things are just meant to be viewed in a completely different way. And opposite things are true, right? The truth is relative to the individual. Right? Like, as an artist, I used to think all the colors combined is black, because that's how you mix paint, right? You make black by mixing all the colors. But in physics, all the colors are white in the absence of color, and the absence of color is black. But then it's like the color you're seeing is actually the absence of color, right? And see, now I'm going to say stuff and be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But if you see something that's red, that means that red is actually missing. And so it's actually the combination of all the other colors that's being refracted. Something with refraction. something with physics. So if you guys know more about that, then maybe that's something you're into. You guys are all esoteric anyway. So you could be more studied on that. But, and you know, maybe you met your ex or this masculine up here, because I'm getting more with the masculine for this storyline, is that you were with someone and maybe you seemed like you were on the same page, but then once you were, you know, maybe you were like on the page, you guys were very compatible. You maybe met through work or something like that. Yeah, so maybe there was something that was just kind of like a more superficial. You seemed like you would be perfect together. And everything seemed great until you actually got together, and then it was like, oh God, we are not compatible at all. Because your core you weren't from the same place in your core. So you may be from the same place, maybe you grew up together, you were from the same hometown, and so, you know, same cultural background or something that seemed, you know, you could have been like of the same class, right? Because we can say that we don't have class systems, but of course we still do have class systems. So you could have been of like the same class, and I feel like you and your actual person are from very different places in the ego. And the ego has been in the way, and now like the earth gets in the way of the sun and the moon. But once the earth is out of the way and they're back here and the sun and the moon are here, that is the divine timing. That's the divine union right there. There's no blockage of the ego. So something with the blockage of the ego, and I think that the ego was really challenged with this person. But we have the Empress, the Hierophant, the Queen of Pentacles, I mean, Ten of Cups, like, but with the ego here, it's like we have the Four of Pentacles, which can be hoarding of resources, holding on to traditions, holding on to what you know. Sometimes this can be very beneficial, like staying in your fixed energy, but fixed energy, like all energy, has a shadow to it, and so this could have been that stubbornness that people often put on fixed signs. I'm a fixed sign, so, you know, we get it. We get it, that it's sometimes people call you stubborn or like you're a bitch, you're an asshole. Well, for speaking my truth, for knowing what I know, for believing what I believe. But again, maybe somebody needed to, with the Five of Wands here, the blockage of, could have been blocked online, could have been black magic, right? This could be like protection. See, we have the death and the clock here. And the clock here. Like somebody else was trying to control your time. You know, we've got this like, looks like a black magic enchantress or something. And you didn't even see them, but they were like back here trying to, the shadow aspect of your fixed energy kept you stuck with this person. This person was very, like in a codependent, toxic attachment. It was a karmic cycle. I mean, the Six of Swords is you're leaving it. And see, this Hierophant could be marriage. So maybe you were married to this person. But see how this Hierophant is like this? It's kind of like they're saying deuces, peace, bitch. Like they left this behind. And so it's like you realized the shadow of yourself and what was keeping you stuck there. And you took your time back. Now your time is here. You take your own time. And yeah, maybe you're with someone who rushed you. Like they were always rushing you. They said that you were like slow. Maybe they called you stupid. Maybe they called you dumb, or like you would try to explain something in the way that you saw it was so different. But it was true to you, and it still held some truth, right? It just, you weren't speaking the same language. And so this person was probably just I feel like they were just very ugly, very manipulative. Yeah, they were into like dark magic. But with the Empress over here, that's someone who is all light work. And then we have the Six of Swords again. So there's that, like, come to me. Come to me, I'll show you how to create. I have I have the womb. I am the vessel for your creations. Now, again, whether that's Like you're going to be more compatible with this person to yeah, maybe someone was like rushing you. Like if this feels very narcissistic, you were maybe dealing with a narcissist, and narcissists love to get you wrapped up with some kids. They like to get you some legal and some tangible attachments that makes it harder for you to leave. And maybe you didn't want to have children. Maybe you didn't want to be rushed into that. You know, you could have been, again, if you like grew up together, or, and maybe if you didn't grow up together, this person was just very familiar to you because you were probably raised by someone like this. And so it just felt very familiar to you, but then you realize this isn't actually my home. This person's not my home. They remind me of the home that I left behind. And so they felt familiar, and I just got it wrong. I thought that they were my person, but they weren't. And so you had to like leave, break that tradition, and find somebody who's over here, right? See, this person is over here holding on to their pentacle too. They're not holding on to it tightly because they're not, there's no competition, there's no conditional tit for tat, there's no transactional love here. This feels very transactional. And so this person just may have been rushing you. Like, it reminds me of, I love the movie My Cousin Vinny though, where she's going, my biological clock is ticking like this, right? And like, the relationship is funny and cute or whatever. And that movie is great, but that money is great. Yeah, maybe someone was with you for your money. Maybe someone was trying to like they were just taking from you. And this person's like ready to give. This feminine is the Empress. They're very giving and nurturing. They don't just give away stuff like freely. She's not going to give it to the Page of Swords, right? Unless that Page of Swords ends up being like a King of Swords, right? Maybe they're just the messenger for the King of Swords. So if the King of Swords comes in, again, more Libra energy, could be Aquarius or Gemini, but with the Empress here, like that King of Swords would be compatible with her Libran aspect, which the Empress and the Emperor are the culmination of all the kings and queens anyway, so it doesn't have to be Libra, but Temperance. Yeah, see, this is reciprocal. This is angelic. This is like all of the trials that you've been through, all of the challenges of the ego, all the discomfort has actually been leading you here to where you're going to be able to pour back and forth into each other's cups. And see like how sweet this place is. And there's the crown. Where did I get that before? I was getting like the Wizard of Oz. Oh, because the moon, the moon in the Rider-Waite Tarot kind of looks like that. It has this. It has a dog. It has like a dog, a wolf, and a crustacean. So it's like Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. The Native American zodiac for Pisces is the wolf. Cancer is often associated with the dog for loyalty, and then there's the crustacean for Scorpio. But again, you guys were a large underwater crustacean. I don't know if that's why those are there, but that's what I get. That's why they're. But the moon is associated with the water sign. So anyway, that one looks kind of like the yellow brick road leading to the sun, and so you get that here too. So there could be a move involved, travel. I mean, we got the Six of Swords twice, so there is some sort of distance. There is a sort of water, a body of water that may have to be crossed to come into this union. And then we have the Tower, which is your energy. But I think this is a welcome tower. Like, this is what you've called in. You could be really into, again, you could be really into, like, physics. You could watch a lot of, Ancient Aliens. I mean, you guys are pretty far out. If you ever get to this place where you're not conforming to those around you, and you can just be in your scorpionic energy, you guys are way out there. I mean, you're literally way out there. Pluto is the farthest away. So you guys are like way out there. Your vantage point is just it is quite alien to a lot of people. And so like when you allow yourself to be an alien, it's almost like you've called on your ancestors, you've called on your mothership to get me out of here. Get me out of here. Because see, like this person's there jumping for their life, but it almost looks like they're like, yes. And I feel like they're going to be, like this person landed on the ground. Right? This like, whether this was the marriage, the relationship, the workplace, whatever it was that you needed to end, that you needed there to be an ending to in order to come in, this timing to be right so that you could come into this Empress, Queen of Pentacles space and to approach this feminine. Oh, I just had an echo. That was weird. It's like this person's jumping into the moat, right? Because there's water in all of these. Like they're crossing water, they're flying over water. You may fly. I don't know, depending how far away you are. Maybe you have to take multiple modes of transportation to get to this person. But if you've been doing this for a while, like with your divine counterpart, with your you guys could have been through this cycle before, right? And so maybe this isn't the first time that you are going to them. Six of Wands. But yeah, this person almost looks like they're smiling. It's like Julianne Moore. There's that, I don't know her name, but she does impressions, and she does it in front of Julianne Moore in an interview where she's like, I'm Julianne Moore, and I'm either crying or laughing, because her face looks pretty much the same when she cries or laughs in a movie. And it's like, you know, it's kind of like this grimace. But I feel like this person's like jumping into the moat, and then they're going to swim out of there. And Page of Cups. And see, here's that island again. Right here. And the whale. See, like the whales, the whale song? It's like echolocation, sonar. Like this person is like, come to me. Hopefully they sound better than that. Unless you're into that. Come to me. But yeah, it's like you're hop, skip, and an island away from this person. So one of you could be from an island. That's a good song. Islands by, actually I don't think there are any lyrics in it, so it's not actually a song, but it's a piece. Page of Cups again. I feel like you guys are mirroring each other. And you're gonna just be very, hey baby. Because we've got the Six of Swords, Page of Cups, Page of Cups. You guys are bringing them together. Five of Cups and Five of Cups to make the Ten of Cups. I wonder if you both are water signs. Either way, you might have a similar placement. They could also have Scorpio placement, right? You could both have Cancer or Pisces placements. But yeah, I feel like there's something about the water, the moon, the whales, sirens. Maybe one of you is did I say that? Yeah, with the Page of Swords, like an EMT. Maybe one of you is an EMT, or you work in the medical field. Like watching the car crash, like all I hear is sirens. Caliuchus. Caliuchis, I don't know how it's pronounced necessarily. I say Ucus. Reminds me of Last of the Mohicans. He is Uncas. But I was going there somewhere with a oh, the XX. They have a piece called Islands. So yeah, maybe something with the XX, maybe something with the medical field, EMT, car crash. Yeah, somebody like destruction. Somebody just, this person over here. And we have the Queen of Swords. See, that's what I'm saying. The Queen of Swords is waiting for her King of Swords. She doesn't want a Page of Swords. She needs someone who's going to come in directly. Like, she's been fighting off. She has 2 swords up. It's like, Kill Bill. You know, like she's, I feel like you both have a path behind you of maybe vengeance. I mean, Scorpios can be quite vengeful. 6 of Wands, 7 of Wands, and 5 of Wands. So 6, 7, or 5, 6, 7. And then we have this double 6 of Swords. So something with 6, we got 6, 6, 6, and we have 7 and 5 between it. And this, in this 7, they're fighting off, they're fending off this 6. Does somebody have low self-worth here? Somebody doubting their worth? Because there's something holding this Page of Swords from coming in. Because we've got the Queen of Swords waiting for their King of Swords. 4 of Cups, so we've got the 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups. Somebody is holding off, somebody is hoarding. The Empress again. And the Lovers. I mean, you guys are coming together. There's just something about timing. And the Queen of Swords looks really, little weary and a little wary. There's the Ace of Swords. We'll take that. That's communication. But the 4 of Cups. I mean, they're waiting. I feel like this Empress is over here waiting for their ships to come in. And not even their ships. Just their ship. They just want one, right? Because I feel like these are all the suitors offering this cup, but they're like, nah, I want my little alien from the clouds to come and offer me this cup. That's your cue, masculine. It's your cue to come in with direct communication. You know, this person made you question your worth, and so you held on to it for dear life. You held on to 4 of Pentacles and you felt like that wasn't enough. But see, this Queen of Pentacles has a nice big pentacle here. They don't want to take from you. They have their own worth. Like, they're not trying to take from you. And you guys can be quite untrusting. Scorpios can be quite untrusting. We have the Empress twice. I mean, this Empress is really holding it down. I think there's a bit of a struggle for this Empress. I knew it was too good to be true with that 10 of Cups coming out right at the beginning. We have the Queen of Wands. So, you know, like, when the masculine, take your time. This person's not rushing you necessarily. They're not, like, pushing you or anything. They are calling you in. They're ready. But we have the Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and Queen of Wands. So the only thing we don't have here is the Queen of Cups. We have 2 pages of Cups and a Page of Wands. The Hermit, like the longer that you take, masculines, the longer the masculine takes. There's that 3 of Swords and the Hermit. Yeah, the Empress has all the queens, right? She puts the Queen of Swords out front. That's her front line of defense. Then it's the Queen of Wands, right? The Queen of Swords protects the Queen of Cups. And then this is the one that fights, right? If she sends this Queen of Wands out there, it's going to be a little bit, this is just a little bit more powerful. So if you felt insecure to say some words with the Queen of Swords, you guys could have had a falling out, you and this person in particular. But, yeah, I feel like you were dealing with a false Empress. The masculine, I mean, if you're the feminine, just know that this is mostly the storyline for your masculine. But we've got these queens everywhere because the feminine is, like, very much in their power. So the struggle or the delay, the challenges are in the masculine's timeline. Hi, baby. So the Queen of Wands here is like, I mean, she's just a little bit harder to, this is like the most understanding, like when you get into the feminine queens. The Queen of Cups, it feels a lot. It's a lot of feelings, but they can get, when they start to shift into like their, if you're dealing with a fellow fixed sign, maybe, because we are getting that, all the fours, fixed energy, maybe your life path number 4, and the mirroring, there's some sort of similarity that you and this person have in your chart that is causing a challenge for this connection, but it's also what makes you the most compatible pair, which is just the way that it goes with the twin flame journey. But it's like this Queen of Pentacles is like the most understanding, right? They're just very grounded, secure. So this is like this is who you want to come into. You want to come into the Hierophant, the Empress. You want to come into that that highest frequency. But when she starts to like send out her queens or separate herself and split herself, then she's not, she's a little bit less predictable, right? The Empress is she's very discerning. She doesn't just take any bullshit. She's not just going to take any riffraff off the street. She doesn't take everything, but she's more, but you know what you're getting when you're approaching the Empress, because they're very much in their feminine power. But if this person starts to split off into these masculine aspects, their masculine elements of the Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, this is a little bit more defensive. So it's just that they may be a little bit harder to approach the longer that you take. Masculines. We have the 8 of Pentacles. They're working. The masculine's working. We got the Queen of Wands twice. I mean, this could be same sex, right? Because we do have this mirroring of like the Empress and the Empress, Queen of Wands, Queen of Wands. But I feel like there's the feminine here is kind of like, I mean, I feel like they're understanding, they're compassionate, they're not going to rush you or manipulate you. And maybe that's kind of like what's frustrating them, is they're like, I'm not that past feminine that you dealt with. I'm the actual Empress. Like, look at all my queens here. Like, look at all my cards. I'm laying all my cards out on the table here. There's nothing to hide with this person. And that could be intimidating, right? Because Scorpios, you like mystery, right? You're mysterious yourselves. And so having that like transparency, having that directness might be a little, it might take you aback a bit, because you're not used to it. You're used to playing games, because that's all you've done with past people. And so, like, to be with someone who's not playing games is what you've always wanted. But I feel like it's a little bit, it makes you like, it's unfamiliar. It's unfamiliar territory. Like, you're traveling into an unknown, uncharted territory. This is an uncharted island. This person is your uncharted island. So you might feel a bit like a castaway, right? You might feel a little bit nervous, right? Because even though you don't want what's back there, you know that that's unhealthy, unhappy, it's toxic, all of that. It's familiar, right? So the masculine, I think, is they're approaching you like a page, because this is all new to them. And so when I was saying that the Empress doesn't accept pages, that might be the holdup here. They might be like, I'm not, and that could be this like struggle with self-worth with the 6 and 7 of Wands here. This is somebody who's very sure of themselves and comes in with a balanced ego and a balanced self-awareness, is somebody that I was going to say Queen of Pentacles, but the Empress accepts. This person is someone who's maybe conflicted. They still have some stuff to sort out. So Empress, if you're struggling, feminine, if you're struggling to just hold that frequency, just know that it would benefit the connection and both of you as individuals if you stay in your Empress energy. If you don't break off, if you don't try to like, if you don't get defensive, you don't get guarded, you don't call them in with fear, right? Because that's going to change the frequency of your song, right? Whales, they use their songs to celebrate, to mourn, like it's their communication for everything. They also use it to warn of predators, and then they use it to call in their family members, right? Call in their mates, right? For mating season, they use it for a number of things. So if you change the key that you're singing in, if you change the frequency of the song you're emitting, the song that you're sending out to your person, then they're going to be like, wait, are you warning me or are you calling me in? Is it safe or is it unsafe, right? So you have to just make sure with the Empress and the Hierophant being tied to Taurus, which is the throat chakra, make sure that you're speaking truth. Because if you start to slip into a shadow aspect of yourself, then this person's going to slip into their shadow aspect, which means they're going to fight their self-worth, they're going to doubt themselves, and they're going to come to you like a page. They're not going to come to you like an emperor, because you're telling them that it's not safe. Because maybe you're getting a little impatient or something. So just remember that. We have the 9 of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, judgment. I mean, you guys are perfect for each other. 5 of Wands. So just like, just hangman. Just hang out. Hang out. They're coming. 6 of Cups. Your soulmate's coming. There's that Knight of Wands, right? Knight of Wands is someone who's inspired, right? Remember that you are their muse. The feminine is the muse for this masculine. They say, I'm safe. It's safe. It's safe for you to create. The Magician. Lots of wands here. Could be dealing with a fire sign, but there's a lot of fire energy here. Yeah, because if you start to, feminines, if you start to slip out into, to break apart, remember the glue that holds your queens together to make the Empress. Because if you start to break apart, then you're not in your Empress energy anymore, right? There's that Queen of Cups in Scorpio, or the Death card. Right? The closer you get to God, the closer the devil gets to you. The closer that you get to your divine union, the more doubt and fear and tests from the shadows are going to come in, because and the more people, offers, things, opportunities are going to look. They're going to try and mimic your person to scare you, to distract you, to confuse you. They're like abracadabra, sleight of hand. They're going to try and slip in there. So you have to remember, like, you're bigger and stronger, and look at your ability to create. It's there. You just got to keep the shadows under your foot. Keep yourself grounded, right? If you want to approach the Queen of Pentacles and you want that understanding, make sure that you are in that energy of being in your pentacles. You're grounded, your earth energy, your fixed energy, right? The wands get a little bit out of control because that's not actually your natural element. As a Scorpio, you are fixed water, right? You're earth and water. You're in a very feminine placement, right? So make sure that you're keeping yourself tuned into Empress energy. It's like, what would Jesus do? It's like, what would Empress do? Kind of ask yourself that, and then just check back in with yourself. Put your feet on the earth, right? Get yourself into the earth, the pleasures of the earth. And so that way you keep your fixed energy balanced, and you keep it you hold it, right? You kind of like that reminds me of that song by Spungle, Around the World in a Tea Days. You can take this whole universe and fold it and put it inside a very tiny head and fold it And you can take this whole universe, right? So maybe something with that. Maybe something with the songs or movies that I've mentioned. There could be confirmation synchronicities in there for you. You know, those songs could play, or maybe they're songs that you've always loved, and so it just reminds you, like, you know, check in with yourself. Check in with, you have all the queens, you have all the kings, whether you're the empress or the emperor. I was really hoping that the emperor would come out, but I feel like the emperor is he's a little shy, because the empress is kind of, the feminine here feels like they are, I mean, when you're dealing with the hanged man, you want the hanged man so that you know you're dealing with somebody who does things the way that's right for them. They're going to be opinionated, they're going to be honest, they're going to be direct. Three of Swords. I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen all of them. But the Star Wars prequels, there's that meme where Natalie Portman's like, "You're breaking my heart." You know, I feel like that's how the feminine is kind of like, I don't know, the feminine's really struggling. I mean, they're over there on that island by themselves, and so it gets difficult. So masculine, if you're waiting for the perfect time to come in, like the light aspect of the hanged man is that they do what's right for them. They see things in a unique way, which is really good. We need to do that. We need to go through that. But the shadow aspect of them is that they can take a long time, right? Pisces can be very timid to make moves, because they have an idealized version of how it's supposed to go, or, oh, I was supposed to, you know, I was supposed to propose this way, I was supposed to ask them out this way, I was supposed to, there's a Hierophant again. So yeah, maybe there's like, I mean, you could already know this person, they could be waiting to propose, or they could just know that you're the person that they want to propose to, and so they're like, I need to do it right. Like, it has to be right. And I feel like the feminine, you don't want to rush that, because you want them to come in in divine timing. But we all have free will, and so the masculine could just be taking a long time. And so they could be in their shadow of, like, it has to be perfect. So stay in your earth energy, right? If you want them to come in grounded and balanced and understanding, right? The earth is very understanding. It is the most distinctly feminine element, and so it's very maternal. It's unconditional, right? Nature's unconditional, all right? Humans, not so much, but everything else in nature is unconditional. It just is, and so stay in there. Keep giving grace to yourself. Keep understanding yourself. Like, don't rush your person. Don't rush yourself. Make sure that you're holding that frequency of still being very nurturing and being in your feminine energy, so the masculine feels like they can come to you. There might be a bit of you might be hard to approach, right? And I hear some of you out there like, well, I don't want anybody to approach me if they're like going to be a pussy about it, you know? Like I feel like kind of like, you know, and I'm not saying to change it, I'm not saying to lower your standards, keep your boundaries where they are, but there's a way that you can soften yourself, and it's good, and you already know how to do it, because they've got the Empress there twice, so it's like the Empress, the feminine, has already been there, done that. You know how to soften yourself, you know how to keep yourself in that energy. That's how they heard your song to begin with, but I feel like the tune may have changed a little bit. Like, the closer they've gotten, the more the feminine has been tested with their patience, with their own fears. Like, your fears and your insecurities just get stronger and stronger, or more frequent around, you know, just before and around the divine union. Because when you're in the divine union, you're so powerful, like, you're almost untouchable, right? The devil will still try to make attempts, the demons, people will try and do black magic or whatever, like negativity, haters, all that, whatever you view or call devil energy. Shadows will try and get you, but you're just, once you're together, it's like shit. Well, I mean, we can like send hate mail, or we can like comment on their pictures or whatever. We can send our little nasty thoughts to them, but they're so fucking powerful. Like, good luck. So it's like just before then, that's like the last moment of weakness that the devil tries to get in there and stop this union from coming together. So keep your protection spells up, your affirmations up, make sure that you are, you have a mantra of protection, and just know that if you feel tested, you're close, okay? You're very close, because it's very close. You guys are mirroring each other, so it's like you're closer, 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 because you're mirroring each other. Just like the moon and the sun, they work together. They're working in tandem. It's like you can see each other, but the ego's in the way. The shadows are in the way. The devil is the ruler of the earth, because that's the ego. That's all the terrestrial, the physical, the 3D. Okay, so things like that. Your person's not going to care if you have a perceived deformity, or you talk funny, or what. Like, they're not gonna, because I'm getting something with not coming into the Queen of Swords to speak because of something, like some sort of insecurity about, maybe if you were called dumb, if the masculine was called dumb by that witch, that black witch over there, maybe they're afraid to say things because they don't think that they're as intelligent enough to say something to this feminine. They might feel like they're just not good enough, and I don't feel like they're generally insecure, but when it comes to this feminine, they want it to be right, and they want to make sure that this is a safe place for them to create, because the last comparison I feel that they've had when it comes to love was really, really unfortunate, and it really messed them up, right? So if you experience that as well, feminine, remember that. Remember, like, oh, I don't want them to feel like they like, I don't think they're stupid. I don't care how they talk. I don't care if they have a lisp or a stutter or a stammer. One of my favorite movies is Stranger Than Fiction, and Maggie Gyllenhaal is a Scorpio, and Will Ferrell's a Pisces, I believe. So again, there's that Pisces water, but she accepts his apologies only because you stammered, and I love that, because it's cute. Like, he's very shy, and she feels like out of his league. But even though there's like a class difference, right? Like, she's a humble baker, and he's it doesn't really say, but he has like a very like modern apartment. He works for the IRS. Like, he probably is doing okay financially. So there's something about the class with the pentacles, maybe not feeling like you have enough to offer the person in the physical. That's all of the ego. This person doesn't care about that. And if you're the feminine, you're out there like, I don't care about that shit. Like, I just want love. I just want to feel stable in my heart. The Three of Swords popping out twice tells me, like, both of you have had so much instability of the heart space. That's all you want. You just need the water. You need the love. You need the cups. You need the heart space. That sun and that moon, you just need to feel each other's light, and know that if you shine your light on this person, as the masculine shining their light on the feminine, that the feminine is going to reflect it back to you. And that even if the ego, the earth, gets its little fat head in the way every now and then, which is like the balloon looks like a fat head, it's like the fat head in the way, like blocking the view, there's still going to be a sliver. And you know what, even if you are in a new moon phase, or an eclipse where you can't see your light reflected, you know that it's there, right? You know that they're there, even in the darkness. That the moon is still full. It's not actually just a bit of it, It's not just one of the queens. It's not just one of the kings. It's not a page. It's still the emperor and the empress. But yeah, I feel like this masculine, they're waiting on like a confirmation to know that they're going to be good enough. So if you know who this person is, feminine, in whatever way you can, you might want to change your tune, right? Maybe send out some kind of hints to comfort this person. But the feminine does not pursue, masculine pursues. That's energy. If you want it to be divine, then you have to, that's the toughest challenge for the feminine, is to just hold that feminine frequency so that the masculine can feel in their power enough to come forward and to pursue the feminine. Right? So if you pursue them or you try to do it or try to rush it, then you're rushing divine timing and you're going to fuck everything up. So don't do that. All divine unions are twin flames, but not all twin flames come into divine union, even if the twin flames get together, because they rushed it. They did not wait for divine timing. They didn't do the work that it took. They didn't finish or complete their own internal cycles because they were just, their ego was in the way. They wanted their person right now, right now, right now. And then they become a karmic situation because you weren't actually ready to be together. So you'll always be running and chasing. There'll always be ego and shadows that you're dealing with. So twin flames have to come together. Their ego has to be challenged so that they can go their separate ways, do the work, and maintain their true frequency before they can come back together. Now, you could have done that in this lifetime. You could have done this in past lifetimes. But this lifetime feels like the one, however you view time and life cycles and all of that. This is like your opportunity. This is the time that you both incarnated to say, we want to be together. So remember that. Remember that you destined yourselves to be together this lifetime. So you just have to hold the frequency. You just have to not listen to your ego, not fall for your ego's games, because your ego wants things to be easy. Your ego's like, let's go this way because we already know what that looks like, and we don't have to try it. Even though it's like horrible for us and it drains our complete soul, and we, go into really dark places of depression, and we don't even have the will to live. At least we know what that looks like. That's what the ego does. It wants you to go to the easy path, but you need to go to you need to just stay the path, stay the course, stay in your fixed energy of like doing what you set out to do in this lifetime, which is coming to union. So it feels very sweet. I feel like you're dealing with a very shy masculine. So be kind to yourself, be kind to each other. This is your best friend, remember? Like, how would you want your best friend to treat you? So just remember that. I know that it's tough, and I know that it gets challenging because, we want love, and we want it now. Like the big fat head, we're like the big fat blueberry. I want it now, you gotta have it. Willy Wonka. So yeah, maybe, hopefully there was something in here for you, and yeah. Well, if you're watching this, then it's uploaded, but I'm just gonna tell you, I'll upload this after the Libra one, so you'll probably be seeing it tomorrow. Today's the 7th, so it'll probably be out on the 8th. But anyway, thank you. Yeah. If you want to support the channel, you know what to do. I don't need to say it. Free will. And until next time, I wish you well.